Peace. What's going on, everybody? Give everybody a chance to scroll on in before I dive into the topic for the day. Hopefully, everybody having a peaceful Thursday. Maintaining that peace, trying to stay positive amidst the chaos that's out here. Crazy out here, but we got to remain centered. We got to remain productive, proactive. Peace. What's going on, Amber? How you holding up? Hopefully, all is well on your end. Miami Soldier, what's going on? Yale University, what's going on with you? Montel, peace. What's going on? I'm Nipping and Goldie. Peace. What's going on? Yale University. If something going on like that, man, we got to deal with the wickedness within our own community. That's simple. We deal with it. We supply justice to those individuals that's doing the wickedness. We handle that. Lachelle, peace. What's going on? There we go, Amber. You already know I'm nipping it. Gonna be a nice little build, a little positive build today. Just kind of balance out everything, man. There's a lot of chaos that's going on right now. I need to balance it out with some positivity, some elevation, just ways to be more productive, ways to be more successful out here. Because again, like I said yesterday, everything starts with self. Nothing will change if we don't focus on ourselves and we don't focus on our own elevation. If we don't focus on our own elevation, then nothing will change. So we got to evolve. We got to elevate as a people. And the way that starts is us focusing on ourselves on the individual level. So we got to focus on our individual success and our individual elevation. What's going on, James? And I feel like that's one of the more prominent problems that we don't deal with within our community. Like, and I gained this understanding via working in a bank, man, especially when it comes to like financial literacy, business acumen, and just information or knowledge about wealth building. We tend to lack in those areas hard. Financial literacy, wealth building. Like we lack hard. Business acumen. We slack hard in that, man. Just even what it takes to just be successful and maintain that success. We lack hard in regards to that particular knowledge. Dizzy, what's going on? Peace. TZ Frank, peace. What's going on with you? So it's like in order for us to truly build, we got to sharpen up. We got to sharpen up our business acumen, what it takes to be successful. We just got to sharpen that sword in those particular avenues and lanes, man. That financial literacy, business acumen, wealth building, success in general. Sweet Tea, what's going on? Because again, like I said, I'm always promoting ownership and being self-sufficient, but we got to know how to do it in the first place. Like we so dependent on this system, and we always talking about creating our own, but a lot of people truly don't know how to create their own, how to not only create it, but maintain it, which is the crucial part. It's easy to create. It's easy to go into business for yourself and start your own business and things like that, but it's harder to maintain it. So the maintenance is where the problem arises. So it's easy to start, but it's harder to maintain. So that's why I always focus on like self-development, self-help, the brain health or mental health, however you want to refer to it as, because that's crucial, because that's where everything starts. And that goes in alignment with the mathematics for the day, which is wisdom, culture, freedom, all being born in equality, man. That's basically just move according to your way of life. And your way of life, when you study it from an original perspective, like it's dominant, it's empowering. So when you move according to your true history and how your ancestors move, then that just gives birth to that centeredness that I'm talking about, that balance, that equality. That's what that gives birth to. So we got to go, but we got to go back from that. We got to go back to that past, man. We got to study the glory days of our ancestors. I'm not talking about slavery where they started our history. We got to go way before that. Way before that. We got to study the glory days when our ancestors was on top. We got to see what they were doing right, and we got to start implementing those things again so we can reclaim that power and that glory. Then we got to look at their mistakes, which I can already highlight a few mistakes. But the biggest mistake is just being too kind-hearted. That was our biggest mistake. First and foremost, we just too kind as a people. But we got to study the mistakes, and we got to focus on those mistakes so that we do not repeat those mistakes. And we continue to repeat those mistakes. So we really got to study our ancestors and study our history. We got to study where we came from to know where we going, know where we headed. But again, we got to learn. We got to learn from their mistakes because they made some mistakes. They made some mistakes. So we got to study from those mistakes so that we don't make those same ones, man. But they did have a solid blueprint in regards to what to do to get that glory, get that power, to maintain some of that power, to maintain some of that glory. Just got to study that. We already got the blueprint. Everybody always asking about solutions. What's the solution? Man, the solution had already been laid out for us. We got plenty of solutions. All we got to do is go back and study those solutions. So we don't need a new person to come on the scene with a new solution. It's nothing new under the sun. That's the age-old cliche. So we already got the solution. We just got to start studying. We got to start studying those blueprints that have already been laid out for us. And we just got to start implementing them. We got to implement them. So that's always funny to me when people come to me and ask me what the solution is, as if I got to sit down and really thoroughly think about a solution and construct it. Man, the solution, I ask them which solution. That's my question. They say, what's the solution? I'm like, which one? Because we got plenty of ancestors that then laid out solutions for us. So which one do you want to adhere to? Like, which solution do you want to fool with? Because there are several solutions to the problem. All we got to do is pick one, and we just got to roll with it. Yeah, turning the other cheek, big problem. That's why I said, like, just being kind-hearted, man. That's one of our flaws, and we still possess that to this day. We just too kind-hearted, man. We too accepting. And we gotta stop living like that at the end of the day, man, because no other people are like that with us. No other people are like that with us. We are just like that with everybody else. We are just like that with everybody else. And look where that gets us. We got to chill out with all that. We got to chill with all that. We got to chill. We got to start loving ourselves, man. That's where everything starts, man. We got to start loving ourselves, and we just got to start loving each other, putting ourselves first. Like, that's nature. We going against nature. The first law of nature is self-preservation. Within that self, you can look at the collective self. So that's your people included in that self. That self is not just you. That's your people. So you got to put your people first. That's the first law of nature. And we going against nature. Hence why we keep getting met with all this type of destruction. We got to stop going against nature. And we got to flow with nature. Put self first. And again, we talking about the collective self. So you got to put your people first. We try to put everybody first. It doesn't work like that because, for one, you can't please everybody. And it's silly to try to do that. So we got to stop. We got to stop doing that. Put yourself first. And that includes the collective self. There is not. And then I don't even get into semantics because I don't really care about being like, I already know that that's not racist. So I'm not even worried about that. When we preach is odd and it's crazy, not odd, but it's crazy. When we preach self-love, then we get called racist and stuff like that for encouraging, inspiring, and motivating Black people to love one another, love themselves, love each other. That gets called racism or racist. When in reality, which I can probably break this down in another video, but I'm pretty sure you all have heard this before, but we really cannot be racist. Like, period. It's a difference between being prejudiced and being racist. And a lot of people don't understand that. But at the end of the day, it's not racist for us to be preaching self-love. So I'm not really concerned about that. Me telling Black people to put themselves first and put their people first is not racism. That's self-love. And that's what we need to do. in order to change your condition. So it's nothing racist about that. Every other ethnic group, that's what they teach. And I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with any other ethnic group saying they need to put their people first. That's what you're supposed to do. That's almost like putting your family first. You're going to put your family first before anybody else. Then you may tend to other matters. That's how you're supposed to live in the first place. So I'm not in disagreement with anyone that says they need to put their ethnic group first. That is the way that it should be, because that's the first law of nature, self-preservation. So I'm all for that. I'm all for that. And that's going to let me segue into kind of the headline of this particular video, which deals with, oh yeah, the men's most, yeah, that's not prejudice. But I was, the reason why I brought that up is because a lot of people, they take a statement that's prejudice and say that it's racism. And an example of that would be saying that I prefer only to date my own kind, like my people. For some reason, people will say that's prejudice, which makes absolutely no sense. Not prejudice, but they'll say that's prejudice, and then they'll say that's racist. What that is we can say that that's prejudice, which is all that is. So I messed that up. I didn't mean to say that it was prejudice. People will say that that's racist because I only choose to deal with like my people, when in reality, it's a preference. It's a preference, just like they may have a preference. So excuse me on the twist up there. What I meant to say was people would consider that racist, when really it's a prejudice. And we all have a prejudice, and there's nothing wrong with that because it's a preference. So it's nothing wrong with having a preference at all. So I had to clear that up because I messed that up originally. Sometimes you get the building, you get the saying things, got to think. But yeah, I don't have a problem with things being prejudiced in and of itself, because like I said, that's a preference. That's a preference. And I'm not mad at any other group of people for showing their true colors. So hence why I'm not even why I don't even waste time in getting mad at corporate America. I didn't make the rules for corporate America. A person that looked like me, they didn't make the rules for corporate America. So I'm not about to waste my energy in hooping and hollering for this system to change its rules. I already know somebody that chooses to embrace the image that I'm embracing is not going to reach certain levels in corporate America. I already knew that. I have accepted that reality. So the only way for me to get to that level that I want to get to, like financially and from a wealth perspective, is for me to do for myself. That's the reality that I have chosen and I have accepted. But what I'm not about to do is hoop and holler at a system that was designed to keep people that choose to embrace my image down. I'm not about to waste my energy, because that's going to lead to depression. And I didn't see that even break people to the point where they have committed suicide because they wasn't able to reach that certain corporate success. It's like that system wasn't designed for a lot of people that look like me, a lot of people that look like you, to reach that certain level. So I'm not about to waste my time hooping and hollering, get upset with this system, hoping and wishing one day that this system changes its rules. I already know that that's not going to happen. So I got to create my own avenue in my own lane and make my own rules. That's what I had to do. So I stopped wasting my time with corporate America. I already know that it's a limit. I have a ceiling that I was almost pretty much reaching in corporate America. In order for me to go beyond that ceiling, I would have pretty much had to sell myself out. And I didn't want to do that. So I wasn't willing to sell myself out just to what they say, fake it until you make it. That never sits well with me. I'm not about to fake it until I make it. I'm not about to just cut my hair because, oh, it'll grow back just to get a certain position when that has nothing to do with the job in and of itself. I wasn't about to sell myself out for no money, man. So I just chose another route. So I'm all good. I'm embracing the struggle that comes along with it. So that didn't hurt. That doesn't hurt my feelings one bit. I don't sit around talking about this system is not fair. I already knew that. I know that. And I'm not about to cry about it. I'm going to create my own system, create my own rules. So I'm not wasting time for that. This system, corporate America, is operating the way that it should operate. It was never designed to enrich a ton of people that look like me and look like you. But when you really study this system, then you will see how to really profit within this system. And it has nothing to do with being in corporate America. They know this. They know this. So you just got to study the wealth builders. They know it. Fam, you finally made it to live. What's going on with you, fam? But yeah, the title of this video is talking about paradigm shift. And when it comes to success, you have a lot of self-help books and things of that nature, man. And a lot of them, to be honest with you, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. A lot of those self-help books, a lot of these self-help books that are out here, I really don't like them. I don't like to waste my time reading a lot of the self-help books because it's just a lot of them are corny, man, cliche, basic, and they really don't provide real solutions to the problem. And why do I say that? Because one of the reasons why you read a self-help book to begin with is because you dealing with a deep internal issue. You're dealing with something deep that's internal. So one of the main reasons why you picking up that self-help book in the first place is because you feel like you need some help. You feel like you need some assistance. I don't really want to pick up this self-help book just for it to regurgitate basic cliches that I can simply look up. I need something that dives deep. That's the reason why I'm picking this book up in the first place. I really don't need to read the cliches. I need something that's going to dive and dig deep. And that's why I don't like a lot of self-help books, man, because a lot of them just repeat the other book. So it's real repetitive, and they don't really dive deep enough, man. They just kind of tell you, oh, think more positive. Well, if it was that easy, a lot of our conditions would have been changed and reversed because we could just think our way out of it. It's really not that simple. We got to get to the root of that. Like, why are we not thinking positively in the first place? We got to get to the root of that. And once we find the root of why we are not thinking positively in the first place, then we can start there. But a lot of those books, man, they just make it sound too simple. Just think positive. Just be productive. Just be like, you got to tell people how. And then you got to get to the root of why they are not thinking that way in the first place. And a lot of those books, they really don't do that. Like I said, it's just basic. They just kind of tell you what to do. It's like a quick fix solution type deal. And then that's it. Book done. And one of the main things that you come across, which is why I titled the book the way that not the book, but the stream, the way that I titled it. A lot of them tell you to shift your thinking to a more positive nature, just positive thoughts, positive thinking. I'm all for that. But I feel like that's not where we should start. And this is the reason why I brought the paradigm shift up. So you may be wondering, what is a paradigm? A paradigm, that's basically your mentality. It's a mindset. It's a way of being. It's who you are. That is what a paradigm is. Mentality, mindset, state of mind, state of being, who you are, your essence. That is what a paradigm is. Positive thinking is something that flows from that paradigm. So the paradigm is the root to even the positive thinking, the positive energy. So you got to deal with the paradigm before you deal with like the attitude, because the attitude flows from that paradigm. So a lot of times we try to skip the paradigm, the foundation, which is that mindset, which is that mentality, perception, state of being, the essence. We jump over that again, mathematically speaking. We skip over the one, go right to the two. We go right to the attitude. And what is the attitude? That's when the positive thinking comes into play. So we just be like, all right, I'm just going to positive think my way to success. I'm just going to think positive thoughts. I'm just going to be productive. Well, we didn't jump over the paradigm. We didn't jumped over the foundation. So that's why a lot of times when people, because I've came across a lot of these individuals, they didn't change the way that they were thinking. They changed the way that they were thinking. They may be thinking more positively, but things are still not flowing the way that they want them to flow. And they wonder why. They're like, man, I'm thinking better. I'm thinking more positively, this, that, and the third. Because that you skipped an entire step and you just went right to the attitude, right to the behavior, without changing the essence. So again, before you even start thinking positively, I know you all have heard about a paradigm shift. You got to shift the paradigm. When they say be the change that you want to see, that is what they are talking about. They're not telling you to just think positive thoughts. They are telling you whatever it is that you want to be, whatever the change is that you seek, you got to be that. And that means everything that's included with that change. Something that may be included with that change is positive thinking. But again, that's a part of that change. In order for you to truly change, though, you got to become an entirely different individual. You can't be that same person that you was last week. And I'm gonna just speak monetarily, man, because we can understand that in layman terms. If you want to make a million, if you want to be a millionaire, then you gotta live as if you are already that. You can't continue to live in the current state that you are in, because obviously right now you are not a millionaire and you striving to get to that million. So you need to change your entire paradigm to fit that of a millionaire. Then you will attract that type of lifestyle to yourself. But a lot of times we skip right over that and start trying to change the behavior and the attitude without changing the entire essence, the entire being. That is what you got to focus on, man. We got to focus on being the person that we need to be or that we want to be. We got to focus on being that. We got to change that mentality. We got to shift that perception, that perspective. That's where everything emanates from. So stop trying, like I said, even when I always tie everything back to health and fitness, when I say you can't crunch your way to a six pack. Again, you just can't positive think your way into success. It doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that at all. Dizzy, most definitely. Your surrounding, your environment is crucial. It's everything. But again, like that essence, man, that's when they tell you, because you have people when they talk about healing. I've done a lot of research on like healing. And when they talk about the mental aspect of healing, and they talk about why some people heal and why others don't, even though essentially they may have done the same exact thing. I think it all goes back to that paradigm, to that essence. The person that may have healed themselves, they probably became an entirely different person. They started living as if they were that healthy person already. So they became that person. They became that healthy person. They stopped focusing on that sick being. They transcended that sick body and they placed themselves in a healthier body. And that's how they was able to defeat that disease mentally. On the other hand, you may have this other person who they may have been thinking positively, but they didn't change their essence. And that's that deep down inside. That's the essence. You know, when you got that feeling that's deep down inside. So on the surface, you may be thinking positively, but deep down inside, you still got that fear and that doubt that this disease is taking you down. So in order for you to truly reverse that condition, you got to transcend, levitate above and beyond that sick body. And you got to place yourself in a healthy body to the point where deep down inside, all you know and all you think is health. Zucko, what's going on, man? You're going to have to rewind that, man. I got into a rant about what we need to do as a people and how we need to focus more on being self-sufficient, how we need to focus more on financial literacy, wealth building, and our business acumen, how we need to increase those things in order to do for self, because a lot of people, they want to do for self, but they don't know how. So I got into a whole spiel about that. Lindell, peace, what's going on? Dizzy, damn, most definitely, man. Like, changing what you pay attention to on social media is crucial. That's crucial. And Tony, step number 1, don't refer to yourself as broke. Again, listen to what I said. I talked about a paradigm shift. What is a paradigm? Part of that is a state of mind. Being broke, state of mind. Being broke, state of mind. So you are really not broke. When you got this mind and this mind is able to function, you are not broke. Nothing is broke about you. So again, shift the paradigm. Shift the paradigm. Just become that person that you are striving to be. And that's going to become your reality. But again, it starts with eliminating things like viewing yourself as broke. That's not how you need to view yourself. That's not shifting the paradigm. You eliminate that. I don't care if financially you in the hole $10,000. Don't view yourself as broke. Every day that you are alive and breathing, you have the opportunity. You have the opportunity to change things. You have the opportunity to create things. You have the opportunity to build things. So you are never broke. When that mind is functioning, and I know the mind is functioning because you was able to comment on here, you not broke. You not broke. You working just fine. Your mind is working just fine. And another thing, it's not even acting. I'm not advocating acting. I'm telling you to become that. Not act like that. I'm telling you to become that person. Don't act, become that person. I know it may sound left field, it may sound far-fetched, but it's not an act. I'm telling you to become that person, because I just talked about not being one to fake it until you make it. So I'm not advocating that you act. I'm telling you to become that person. Again, the blueprint is laid out. When you look at it, when you study wealthy people, when you even study wealthy people, it really has nothing to do with the amount of money in their bank account in regards to you becoming that millionaire. I'm talking about the characteristics that they possess, their habits, things that they do, their routine. You can do those same things. That's what I mean by becoming that millionaire before you actually reach millionaire status. All you got to do is study the path that most of them have taken, and you will find the common denominators. You will find the common denominators in regards to habits, rituals, routines. All you got to do is start implementing those common denominators in your life, and it has little to do with what's in your bank account. When you start to embody those habits and implement those habits, then your bank account will grow by default. When you start doing things like waking up an hour earlier than you do now, like that doesn't cost anything for you to do. That doesn't cost anything for you to do. When you start focusing with the end in mind, begin with the end in mind, that doesn't cost anything for you to do. When you focus more so on being proactive instead of being reactive, that doesn't cost anything. But these are all habits. These are all habits possessed by millionaires and billionaires. So all you got to do is implement those habits. It's just that simple. Become that person. Obviously, if you striving to do something, obviously the path that you've been walking is not the answer. So you got to become a new you. And we do it. A lot of people do it every January 1st. What do they say? New year, new me. Now, how about new you? Man, I'm not the same person that I was 30 minutes ago. That's the only thing constant. That's the only thing constant is change. So we need to embrace evolution. A lot of times the reason why we're not growing and elevating is because we are satisfied and content with being complacent, inert, stagnant, not moving. We are too content with being stagnant. No, you got to embrace motion. I mean, that's one of the that's one of the top 5 laws of fitness, man. You got to move. So we got to embrace that change. We got to embrace motion. That's what we got to do. That keeps you healthy physically, and that keeps you healthy mentally. Embrace motion. Embrace change. Embrace evolution. No doubt, Tony, you got it, man. You got it. Whatever you striving to get, live as if you already got it. Matter of fact, you do already have it, man. Just live it out. Live out the reality. Live out the mathematics, man. You already got it. The mathematics is the study of patterns. Study the patterns of the people who got what you striving to get and become that. And live like you already got it, man. It's just that simple. Bill Mesh, what's going on? Lindell, the term self-made self-made millionaire, at the end of the day, it's going to always be other people involved, whether even if it's just your clients or your customers or whatever the case may be. They the reason why you became that millionaire in the first place. So I feel like that's more so something for the ego. When people brag about being self-made millionaires and things like that. Because if I ever became a millionaire, just say if my gym ever got me to the point where it made me a millionaire, even if this YouTube was something that made me a millionaire, I don't care what it is. I'm going to give credit to the people because I didn't do nothing, man. The people that supported me is the reason why I reached that level and that status. So I don't necessarily use the term like self-made millionaire because at the end of the day, you nothing without your customers. You nothing without your clients. You nothing without your fans. Without these fans, customers, clients, you make absolutely nothing. So I think that's more so of an ego thing, man. That strokes your ego to say that I was a self-made millionaire. It's like, how did you make your millions? Well, if you created a product, well, then people had to buy the product. So I get it. You created the product. But again, like I said, if it wasn't for the people having a need for that particular product, then you wouldn't have your millions in the first place. So I just feel like that's something for the ego. Like in a sense, I get what they mean in a sense when they use that word and terminology, but I don't necessarily have to use it. Even if I studied other people, like read books, like that's not self-made. Like I got information from these books. I got information from these interviews, these people that I studied. So I did that. That's not self-made. I'm always giving credit to any and everybody. So I'm never about to take sole credit for anything, man. When y'all see me pull up books, I always do that. I'm always giving credit to my sources. Now, if I come up with like a philosophy and a perspective, then I'm gonna roll with it like that. But if something influenced me, then I'm gonna get a credit where the credit is due. I'm gonna credit my sources all the time. You already know, man. I always gotta go hard. That's the only way that I know how to go. That's the only way that I know how to go. But I just got to get people to focus more on that paradigm shift, man, because like I said, a lot of these self-help books, man, they just make everything seem too simple. And I know that that's not the actual reality of the situation. A lot of people don't understand how deep things are psychologically. And we don't strive to get to the root. We skip right over that root, man. And we just start throwing solutions out there, man. Like if it would like this is what grinds my gears. When let's go to depression, for example. When people are expressing themselves in regards to their depression, and you have the individual that's listening, and they start saying simple things like, oh, you just need to think more positively about the situation. It's like that's an insult to that person's intelligence. You think a person that is depressed doesn't know the value of positive thinking? Like you think a person that's dealing with depression is so dumb that they don't understand the value in positive thinking. Trust me, that person that's dealing with depression, they know about positive thinking. They know that they may need to think more positively. The problem is it's hard for them to do it. And that's what you need to focus more so on. So again, man, you insulting someone's intelligence when you throw out things like, you just need to think more positively. That person knows that. It's the reason why they not thinking more positively, though. We got to focus on that. And that goes back to fitness for me. That goes back to fitness for me from being a trainer. a lot of people don't understand how complicated it is to not only lose the weight, but maintain that weight loss. So when people who have never had to deal with weight loss say things like, well, you just need to watch what you're eating, or you just need to eat less and stuff like that, I look at them kind of funny, because obviously you don't understand the hormonal and psychological issue behind this weight gain. And you don't understand how complicated it is on a hormonal level, on a psychological level, to do what needs to be done to lose the weight. Losing weight is not really that simple. If it were that simple, because these people already know that it's certain things that they shouldn't be doing. The problem is they are doing them. Or the problem is they are not doing the things that they are supposed to do. So the answer becomes why. And then that's when we get to the root. When we get to the why. So stop insulting someone's intelligence, man. Stop telling them, oh, you just need to do this, that, and the third. 100% sure that they already know that. We got to focus on why they are continuing to indulge in these habits that are not conducive to their overall health and well-being. So if a person is battling depression, instead of telling them they need to think more positively, try to get to the root as to what is causing their depression, what is causing that depressing thought, what is causing that depressing energy. Let's get to the root of that, and let's see what we can do when we get to the root, the underlying cause. So a lot of people don't understand that, man. That's why I'm not a fan of some of that cliche advice, man. Sometimes you got to get deep. Sometimes you got to dig deep. Sometimes you got to go beyond the surface. And that's just, it is what it is. Sometimes you just got to be willing to dig a little bit deeper. So we always focus on simplicity. We always focusing on dumbing it down. Sometimes the complex, being deep, is necessary and needed in order for you to truly grow and evolve. So don't be afraid to dig deep. Don't be afraid to go deep. Not everything is simple. I know the acronym keep it simple, stupid. Well, that doesn't apply to everything, man. Sometimes you got to dig deep. Sometimes you got to look beyond that surface if you want to get true answers. So that's just an actual fact. So again, sometimes we can't just roll with the simple cliches, man. You got to dig deep to get to the root of these issues that you may be dealing with if you want to truly solve them. And again, that starts with that paradigm. When you make that paradigm shift, man, you get into the bottom of all of those unresolved conflicts, man. So you get into the bottom of everything, which is going to help you transition and evolve into that person that you need to become. So again, you got to focus on your essence. What is your true essence, man? See, a lot of people don't focus on the essence. Like, what is your true essence? Like when you walk into a place, how do you make people feel? See, in the previous video, I talked about us picking up on other people's vibes. Like when you walk into that room with that person and you automatically feel some type of way. Well, how do you make people feel when you around? That's your essence. What is your essence? What do you give off? Do you give off the vibe of someone that's healthy? Do you give off the vibe of someone that's positive? Do you give off the vibe of someone that's righteous? What type of vibe do you give off? When you go into a room, how do you impact that room? And I don't mean how do you impact the room by merely talking. I mean, when you walk in that room, how do you impact that room? See, I can walk into a room and because you already know what we deal with. We deal with our nature. We righteous by nature. So when I come into a room, you feel that righteous energy. You feel that divine energy. When I walk in the room, you feel that presence. You feel it. You feel that I'm a person. I'm a dude that's in tune with myself. And that's even before I utter one word. I don't have to say anything to you. But you're going to feel that vibe. You're going to feel my essence. And a lot of people don't focus on their essence and focus on that self vibe. We focus on picking up that vibe from others. But what vibe do people pick up from you? So that's what you got to focus on, man. Even when I go out, and a lot of that is due to these. But that's this is part of my being. This is part of my essence, man. But when I go out, I can tell just by the way people look at me. They picking up on that vibe, man. They know that I'm a person that's confident in myself and how I look and who I am. I'm in tune. They pick up on that quickly. And I've even had people let me know this after having conversations with me. So that's how I know the type of essence that I carry, because people have let me know that they felt that type of way about me before they even met and spoke to me. Oh, Dizzy, damn, that's right. That's right on topic. And you know how this channel get. We can get to talking about this one moment, and then we can talk about religion in about the next 20 seconds. So you know how I get to getting, man. So that's definitely on topic. Everything is on topic. If it's dealing with life, it's on topic. So nothing is off topic in regards to this channel. Everything is on topic because we deal with life on this particular channel. So everything is on topic. But again, I'm about to vent on that. But the people, I got a few takes on people that spit out the same knowledge and advice that I spit, but don't apply it to themselves. And I tell people this some of the times. Sometimes when I'm on here teaching or venting or whatever I'm doing, I'm talking to myself sometimes. But when it comes to that, because I've ran into this problem a lot, and it's hard for some people to do. But sometimes when you come across a message, you got to be able to separate the message from the messenger in regards to applying it to self. So I'm all about applying everything to self. So sometimes in order for me to do that, I'm separating the messenger from the message. If the message has a jewel in it that I need, I'm going to take that jewel. I'm going to take that message. Now, in regards to how I feel about that, in regards to the people that do that, my thing, though, like I never wanted to be that person that was a walking contradiction. Not saying that I'm perfect, but if I spit something out, I want to make sure that I'm living it. And I feel like everybody should live according to that truth. But I know and understand that that's not going to happen. But I feel like if you are an individual that has a platform, I don't care how many people are, if you got one person that's listening to you, that's crucial. That's crucial. And for the sake of that one person, you need to lead by example. I was always someone that led by example. When I played high school sports and I was the captain of the team, I didn't say much. My actions spoke for me. So then when I did say something, it made it easier. It made it easier for the underclassmen to believe in me, because I never said nothing, but I went out there and I put in the work. So everybody knew that when I said something, I was going to put in the work to back it. So they didn't question me. They didn't question me at all. So I believe that's one thing that these people need to do a better job of, because to dive in on your point a little bit more, most people are like that. Most people that spit this type of stuff that I'm spitting, they don't live it. They don't live it. That's one. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to go into my honesty bag. That's another reason why I prolong starting up this YouTube channel and staying consistent with it, because I had to work on myself. I said, man, I didn't want to get on this platform and start talking the way that I'm talking, and I'm not living proof of that actual reality. I can't be that. I'm not comfortable with that. And at the point of time where everybody was telling me to start a YouTube channel, I was in that space. I didn't feel like I was living out everything that I was knowing that I should be doing and that I was saying. So I said I had to take my own words, study my own words, and implement my own words. And I said, once I do that long enough, then I will get on this platform. I will get on YouTube and I will start letting people know the actual truth. And that's another reason why why some of the advice I may give out is not 100% positive. Like you're not about to get, that's why I'm not one of those self-help gurus that's gonna make everything seem positive. I'm gonna let you know about that so-called dark side. I'm gonna talk about that dark side, man. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it balanced. I'm not about to make it look like everything is peaches and cream, because it's not. And and the reason why I can say that is because I'm looking at it from an internal perspective. I take everything that I'm going through and I apply it to what I'm teaching and venting. So I know it's not just one-sided. So we all got our flaws. So at the end of the day, we always got to go back and evaluate ourselves. It's almost like the 42 laws of Ma'at, man. You got to go back at the end of the day and you got to ask yourself questions like, did I live according to my truth? Did I honor my truth today? Did I disobey my truth, my principles, my values? Like, you got to ask yourself this every day. Are you living according to your principles, your values, things that you have set for yourself? So those are things you got to ask yourself. And that's the reason why a lot of these dudes contradict themselves, because they don't do that. And a lot of it stems from wanting the popularity, wanting the attention. That's all people are after. They don't really care about being living proof of what they are teaching. They just want people to follow them. That's it. They just want people to follow them. And that's essentially easy. What people don't understand, because I got a marketing degree, so I didn't study things like propaganda, mind control, manipulation. Like, that's why I can speak a lot about that type of stuff, man, because I studied that. I know exactly what to do to get people to like follow you. Like, I know, like, in regards to like religion and things like that, I know how to tap into emotions, but I'm not about to be that type of person. That's what these individuals who are not living out what they teach, preach, whatever it is. That's why those individuals are doing what they do. It's all for the fame. It's all for the attention. That's all that they want. That's all that they want. I'm not into doing the slick marketing stuff, man, just to get people to fool with what I'm saying. When I keep it authentic and original, people are going to naturally gravitate towards me if they can relate. So if I'm artificial with my message, then I'm going to attract a lot of artificial people. And I'd rather not do that. I'd rather attract original, authentic people. That's what I'd rather attract within my cipher. So that's why I keep it authentic. That's why I'm not doing things for clickbait. Like, I already know how, like, y'all got to understand, I got a million marketing books. Like I said, that was my degree. So I know exactly, I can break down exactly if I wanted to get to 100,000, 1 million subscribers, man, I know the formula. Like, I know how to label videos. I know how to write the descriptions the way that you're supposed to write them. But I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that. I don't have to implement any of those strategies. I'm just going to keep it real, and everything is going to flow from me keeping it true, keeping it real with self, standing on my square. Oh, Dizzy, listen. And Zucko, most definitely. And hey, Sixtramentals 5150, man, I appreciate that, family. But Dizzy, I'm gonna drop some game on that. Sadly enough, you know, I don't really like to talk bad about my elders, but sadly enough, nothing is new under the sun. This whole thing about being a contradiction, art like that stems a lot from our elders. So it continues to be passed down. You know that old cliche saying when they used to tell us, do as I say, not as I do. The problem of it is that was an insult to our intelligence as kids, as children. When you tell me to do as you say, but not as you do, you are insulting my ability to just analyze what's really happening. How you still telling me to do, like you telling me to do one thing, but that you are doing exactly what you are telling me not to do. You think just telling me to do as you say and not as you do will eliminate all that and wipe it all out. No, I still have a mind. I'm still able to examine and analyze. So you are insulting the child's intelligence. And I think that that's one of our problems within our community. The adults, the parents, we keep telling these kids to do one thing, and yet we do the exact thing that we are telling them not to do. We are being the exact person that we are telling them not to grow up and be. And we wonder why they grow up and be the exact person that we are and we told them not to be. So that's one of my issues within this community. The adults have to do a better job of doing as they say, because they are impacting the children, and they wonder why the children are in the condition and shape that they are in. Because it's just not that easy for me to do as you say and not as you do. I can't help but analyze what you do as an adult, as my elder. I can't help it. I'm watching action. Action is resonating with me more. Like what I'm seeing is resonating more than what I'm hearing from you. When they say actions speak louder than words, that's what's being meant. So if your actions are not correlating with your word, like with your words, then like I'm not understanding that. And by you simply saying do as you say, not as you do, that's not eliminating that thought, that examination, that analysis. So as adults, we got to stop doing that for the children. If we telling children to do one thing, then we got to be living proof of that. We got to be living out the reality that we trying to spit to these children, point blank, period. So Dizzy, man, a lot of adults are doing that, and that is a problem. That is a problem. A lot of us are suffering right now because we were hit with that as kids. We were told one thing, and then we saw we saw exactly what we were told not to do. We saw the total opposite of what we were told to do, and we saw it consistently. So a lot of us are still affected by that to this day. Lindell, religion is big time brainwashing, and all it's doing is preying on one's emotions. And I'm gonna get and a lot of women may not like this, but when you look at the average congregation in regards to like Christianity, from a Black perspective, you will see the congregation is mostly women. And when I talk about religion and what it taps into the emotions. So we know by nature, when we deal with the masculine and feminine, we know that's the more emotional side. Not necessarily saying that that's a negative, but they more in tune with the emotions. They are more into like intuitive, emotional. They are more in tune with that. So those like religion, that's all that religion is tapping into, the emotions. That's why you will see a lot of these women in the congregation, a lot of these women in the church, more so they outnumbering the men big time. Because we more so going to be a little bit more critical down to see what's going on. So that's one thing that we got to stop. We got to stop dealing with everything from an emotional perspective. And again, not saying that it's negative, but we got to stop looking at like logic and things like that as if it's something negative. We got to learn how to combine the two. We got to learn how to combine the two. We got to stop being so lopsided. So we got to learn how to combine those two and merge them as one. Like we got to learn how to combine those two, logic and emotion, and merge them as one, condense them. We got to learn how to do that. Oh, Dizzy, I'm 100. I knew that was probably their favorite line, man, because that's most of their favorite lines, man. Do as I say, not as I do. Again, we got to stop telling them kids. We got to stop telling the children that. We got to stop telling these children that. We got to be living proof of everything that we teaching these children. That is where it starts. And we got to stop wondering where these children are getting these negative habits from. The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. We are the tree. They are the apple. Down to see, man, when you finish that website, let the family know, because we supporting it. You got family here. We all supporting that website. We supporting it big time, man. We need more platforms out here from us that we can support. So we all supporting that. James, my perspective on focus. Focus is essential. Focus is essential. And some of our problems stem from a lack of focus. So focus is necessary, man, to accomplish whatever it is that you're striving to accomplish. You got to have focus, concentration. And a lot of people have this, they romanticize being able to multitask. I'm not a fan of multitasking. Like, that's a lack of focus to me. I'd rather put my trust in the person that can zero in on something 100%, give it 100% of their time, energy, and effort opposed to the person that can only give it 20% here, then 50% here, then 30%. No, I want that person that can lock in 100% on that one thing, then move on to the next and get that next thing 100%. Because you, at that point, when you multitasking, you dealing with a lack of quality. And that doesn't necessarily make you better. That doesn't necessarily make you more efficient. What that makes you more prone to do is to make mistakes. So I'm not necessarily too big on multitasking, man. When you got something that you need to accomplish, zero in and focus on that. Stop trying to do 10 different things at once. For one, that goes against the laws of physics. You can't do 10 different things at once. You can only rapidly shift your focus. And you don't need to be doing that. If you got something that you're trying to produce that needs to be of top-notch quality, then you multitasking while you're doing it is not going to contribute to it being top-notch quality. So I'm not a big fan of multitasking for that reason. That's a lack of focus and a lack of discipline. Focus on one thing. Like, the more you focus on it, the faster you will get it done so you can focus on these other things. When you multitask and split it up in a percentage basis, then it's going to take you longer to complete everything. If you just zero in and give 100% on each project, you're going to finish everything faster because you're giving it more percentage. Man, Zucko, most definitely, man. And the crazy thing about it, like that dictator mindset, what I've noticed, and I'm gonna hold y'all to this, man. I'm gonna hold y'all to this. But I already know what type of person I am, man, as an individual, and I know my essence. But like when people start doing things like this, and I've noticed this because I done followed a lot of people, and I've stopped following a lot of people for this exact reason. So I've noticed the pattern. But a lot of times when they start out on their journey, man, I followed a few people from conception to like when they made it big, when they channel started to crack. And I just noticed how they changed. And I'm not talking about change for the better. Like, they changed for the worse. They started letting these numbers get to their head, and their whole personality, their whole essence changed. And they became like that dictator, that know-it-all. That person that wasn't willing to listen, thought they knew any and everything because they had a large amount of people tuning in to what they saying. They felt like they were above error, above correction. Please don't allow me to get like that, man. If y'all ever sense that in me, which I know that it'll never happen, correct me, let me know. But I've witnessed a lot of people travel down that path, man, to the point where they start acting like these pastors and these preachers that they talk about once they start reaching a certain number, like of people tuning in to them. So that stuff starts to get to their head. So they turn into that dictator. So again, it starts turning into like a religion. And we can't be having that. We can't be having that. Some of these people, like I tuned in for some of these people, man, for the information. For the essence that they portrayed, that they presented, that they gave off, for the vibe. Once that starts to change, man, I can't fool with it. I can't fool with it. 1 minute you talking all this nice spiritual stuff and you talking about peace, but then the next moment and matter of fact, you talking about peace and you talking about unity amongst the community, and then in the next breath, you out here cursing another brother out for something small. Like, where do they do that at, man? I'm not about to go do that. I'm not about to go do that at all, man. And that's when stuff starts to get childish. And I see a lot of these brothers that present themselves as having all this knowledge and knowledge of self, yet they can't conduct themselves properly on these platforms. You can't control your emotions, but that's one of the things that you teaching. You can't handle disputes better. And yet that's one of the things that you teach. You talking about our ancestors and some of the things that they taught, and you not living out any of that. You not living out any of that. People don't like I said, language is powerful. Our ancestors knew that. Our ancestors, like I said, when you talk about the laws of Ma'at, like language is in there. Like, did you use destructive language type deal? That's in there. Like, I paraphrased it, but that's in there. A lot of these dudes that claim to be in tune with our ancestors are going against their very teachings. So I cannot rock with that. That's like me and my lessons and my culture. Like everything that's within them lessons, I'm striving to live it out. If I'm not striving to live it out, you won't hear me spitting it. So I gotta be a representative for my culture, for my way of life, for my ancestors. Especially if I'm about to teach it. If I'm about to take on the role of teaching it to people and presenting the information, I got to make sure that I'm living proof of it, because that doesn't make any sense to me. The whole reason why I'm getting this knowledge in the first place is to help myself. So people don't understand that. The whole reason why I'm studying the ancestors in the first place is to first help myself. So why am I just taking this knowledge and spitting it out to the people, totally skipping over myself, not helping myself? The real people gonna pick up on that. And in due time, those individuals get exposed. In due time, those individuals get exposed. Amber, most like I'm definitely like I'm real simplistic in regards to what I do. So that's why I'm a terrible target for the system, because there's nothing like the only thing that they can pin up on me. The only thing that like if the system ever want to try to attack my character, the only thing that they can do is go back to Facebook and pull up old statuses 5 to 10 years ago when I talk bad about the system. So they can make it look like they'll probably Farrakhan me or something, call me anti-Semitic or something like that. So that's the only thing that they can do. But as far as like the way that I conduct myself, man, they don't have much that they can pin up on me, because I make sure I conduct myself in a certain manner. Like I make sure I'm respectable. I'm respectable to women. Like you, again, for the women that's tuning in, you've never heard me refer to like call women out of their names. Like it's not going to happen. I don't care what the woman is acting like. Just like you won't hear the N-word from me in regards to talking about my brothers. You will not hear me degrade my brothers and my sisters like that, man, using that type of language. You will never hear. I don't care how they act. I don't care how my people are acting. You will not hear that type of language to define and describe my people. You will not hear it. Amber, almost like I'm to the point where I don't even tune into a lot of these current individuals. I watch a lot of older, like a lot of my elders in regards to that, man, just people who were strictly focused on teaching. It's hard for me to tune into a lot of these like individuals. So sometimes I don't even do it. Lindell, most definitely. Zucko, most definitely. Like I don't see control at all. I'm one of those individuals, man, that I like if I would like as a business owner, like I'm not even gonna look at you as an employee. I'm looking at you as a future business owner. So if I take a young person, like I got some young dudes reaching out to me, they want to kind of shadow me in the gym. So I'm not looking at them like that. I'm looking at them as a future gym owner. Like you about to do what I'm doing plus more. So you about to be greater than me. And Rude Boy, I'm from St. Louis, but my folks are all from Mississippi. I was the only one born here. But everybody else in my fam was born in Mississippi. So I was born in St. Louis, but everybody in my family, my immediate family, they were born in Mississippi. But like I said, I'm not 100% perfect. So I may have moments where I slip up, do something that I'm not supposed to do. But I make sure I jump right on that in regards to correcting myself. And then I'm the first to admit it. So I can admit my flaws. I can tell you every flaw that I possess. I'm not in denial about myself. So I know and I understand that reality. That's why I build on a lot of things, man. I've even expressed a lot of my flaws when I made some videos on here talking about sometimes just dealing with low self-esteem, lack of confidence, and all that type of stuff. Oh, I've been growing my hair, man. It's so long. I don't like lost count, bro. So it's probably been about going on like 16 years that I've been growing my locks. But I had hair before that. So I didn't been growing my hair in general for probably 20. Oh, rude boy, the guys in the earth are definitely in the loop. Definitely, man. We call. I'm from St. Louis, so you know, as the nation of guys and earth, we take cities and we give them a different name. So St. Louis and all we call it Saudi. So it's a lot. It's a lot of guys and earths out here. Oh, it's a nice community of us out here. Yeah, it's a nice community. Except like I said, man, that book is powerful, yo. That book is powerful. That book is powerful, man. It's some things in that book that had me thinking, and I'm gonna build on some of the stuff that's in that book. But it's some things in that book that had me legit thinking, like this is crazy. It definitely was mind blowing. The Secret Science by John Baines. That's a powerful book, and it don't take long to read it. But like I said, with the walking contradiction, the thing of it is, man, as long as you acknowledge, for one, that you are not perfect, and as long as you are open to like criticism and suggestions and things like that, like you eliminate being able to be a contradiction. But a lot of these dudes act like they are above that. A lot of these women act like they are above that. You are not above that. I made errors in the past. I'm gonna continue to make errors. Amber old low self-esteem destroyed me like that. I battled that for as long as I can remember. And I'm kind of just now getting over the hump. I'm gonna tell you something that I'm gonna tell you a flaw that I have in communication, in physical communication that stems from low self-esteem. I have a big problem with looking people in their eyes when I'm talking to them, and that stems from low self-esteem. So I got started, like I got legit flaws that I face from low self-esteem, man. It's hard for me to have that eye contact with people. And that stems from that, man. It's just like it's hard. So I'm still battling with that. Just looking people in the eyes when I'm talking to them, like it's weird to me and it's awkward. And it all stems from that low self-esteem. So again, like I can easily build on like my flaws. I can tell y'all exactly what my flaws are, and that's one of them. It's hard for me to look you in the eye when I'm talking to you. And a lot of people got this myth that a person that's doing that is lying. Like, no, I'm gonna tell you the truth, but I may not make direct eye contact with you. But that's because of that low self-esteem. So I don't like when people say, "Oh, if a person not looking you in the eye, they're not telling you the truth." Again, we skipped the one, went right to the two. So that's an assumption and an accusation that's false. It's a foundation to the reason why I'm not looking you in your eye. And you got to get to the root. The root of why I wouldn't look somebody in the eye directly for the entire conversation is because of low self-esteem, not necessarily because I'm lying to you. So we got to stop skipping that one, going right to that two, making those accusations and assumptions. So I got a big problem with that, man. That's one of my biggest issues. And it's hard for me to correct that, man. When I'm talking to people, especially if it's a long conversation, I honestly don't see how people do that. Honestly, like look people in their eyes the entire conversation. I just can't, for right now, I just can't do it. And that stems from that low self-esteem. So that's a problem that I have as a flaw. So I know in business, you're supposed to have that eye contact. That's perceived a certain type of way. So I'll be striving to work on it. But it's harder to do when low self-esteem has been an issue because you're still battling with it. Oh yeah, Dynasty, most definitely. That's where it stems. Yeah, that's where it stems with the self-love. But even with that, so it's like it's just conditioning. So when you didn't possess low self-esteem for 20 plus years, even when you start to love yourself for 1 year, it ain't gonna automatically override the 20 years of low self-esteem. So at times it don't take much for that trigger. One of my triggers is having conversations. So that's a trigger for me. So I just got to figure out a way to just battle that trigger. So every time I'm talking to somebody, it's like it don't take much for me to just not look them right in the eye. So that's a bad trigger for me. So I just got to work on that. But yeah, self-love is crucial, but it's just conditioning. So it takes a minute to break the conditioning. Anytime you can slip up. Oh, Tony, man, listen. When it comes to the topic of religion and how we started to embrace a lot of these religions, man, and how some of them were forced upon us, like that's a whole 4 or 5 hour video. And self, you got it, man. Hey, future's in your hands, yo. Like, we riding with you. Like, the future's in your hand. You 17, we riding with you. We riding for you. You got it. You the future. Cynthia Wisdom Seeker. That's where it stems from for me. It could be something different for you, but that's where it stems from for me. That self-esteem. Because I used to just feel like when people were looking at me, I just felt like they were, just the honest truth. I felt like they were just like looking at me in a negative light. Like, I felt like it was something wrong with me physically. And I felt like when a person was looking at me, that's what they were looking at. So I felt like if I wouldn't look at them, then I wouldn't sense that. So I felt like they was looking at me, and I felt like something was wrong with me in regards to my image. And I felt like that's all that they were looking at. And I felt like that's what they were thinking. So that was just that lack of self-esteem. Oh, Dizzy, I'm always thinking. Yeah, most definitely. You can tell when I'm thinking, though. When I'm thinking and we having a conversation, I start doing something. I start, rubbing the chin or something like that. I'm like that. That's when I'm in that deep thought. Like, hold on. But for the most part, it's automatic for me not to look at people now because I was doing it for so long. But I just always felt real uncomfortable and awkward when having that eye contact, man. Just real uncomfortable, real awkward. And I don't care who it is, man. It could be my mom, it could be anybody. I don't care who it is. That eye contact has always been awkward and uncomfortable for me. And it's just on a personal note. I feel like you finding a flaw, like, man, look at his chin or something, like, what I'm saying? Just something look petty like that. That's what's going through my mind. That just stems from like just childhood stuff. But we getting over it. It's just an automatic thing that I do now. I'm not necessarily thinking that now. It's just automatic. So I just got to break. I got to break the habit, Self, hey, listen, I'm going to tell you something in regards to that. Don't even focus on it. Focus on yourself, and you're going to track everything from that particular focus. So focus on yourself, and whatever you need in your life, it will come to you. So you ain't got to focus on marrying somebody in your generation right now. Just focus on yourself. Keep building on self. You focus and you keep doing that. Everything that you need going to stem from that. But I done got caught up in building. Again, y'all, I got people that I got to go train. So again, y'all have a peaceful Thursday evening. I'm going to be back Saturday around the same time, if not earlier. Y'all build on that positive, destroy the negative. I'm out, y'all. Peace.